Hey everyone, last week I made a video about gut feelings and intuition, which is what some of us call our sixth sense. It's an inner knowing, it's our gut telling us something, and the intuition is communication coming from the mind and the heart, and we are getting a feeling and information about somebody, about a situation, about a decision we have to make. That's the intuition part, and gut feeling. It's like this very instinct that we're getting, a strong instinct about the environment out there or a person that we are in contact with where perhaps we feel unsafe. And our gut feelings will tell us that. So, what I want to touch on today is when that disconnect happens with our gut feelings, because many of us have experienced our gut feelings and not listening to it. There was something holding us back, something with intuition. We got some information, but we chose to ignore it. So, when does that happen? And that happens in childhood, because a child is always dependent on adults to mirror to them what is right and what is wrong. And that will depend on the environment we were brought in, and the kind of culture we grew up with. So, for instance, intuition. If you look at children, especially young children and babies, babies don't have any ways to communicate verbally. And young children, sometimes they also can't pinpoint or tell you what they're feeling. So they get a feeling, say a stranger come by, and they choose not to acknowledge that stranger, for instance. And usually as a parent, we feel kind of uncomfortable at times. I know I've been there. If I know somebody, but my child doesn't know that person, and I'm talking to the person and I want my child to acknowledge the person, but somehow my child is not willing to acknowledge. And that's because they're getting some information that they are unsure about, or perhaps they're not even feeling safe with that person for many reasons that can be out there. But if, as a parent, in that moment where the child is not feeling comfortable to acknowledge the person, in that moment, I force it upon the child and say, you need to say hi, and you need to acknowledge the person when they don't want to. Then I'm projecting upon them what I want for them to do, and not listening to what is going on within them. And perhaps they need the time to process, or maybe they, feel there is some sense of danger with that person, right? And it's important that they are able to connect with that sense of knowing that's coming from their gut feelings. So this is where the disconnect happens, is over time as a parent, I continuously not allow my child to connect with their intuition or their gut feeling, then they will disconnect from it. And another example I can give you with gut feelings is, and I've had a client like this who told me that as a little girl, just like any children, she was just having fun and she loves to sing. So she was starting to sing out loud, but her mom was experiencing headaches or some form of stress in that moment. And her mom turned around and yelled at her and told her to stop singing, and did not explain why. And in that moment, when this kind of thing happens, the child cannot comprehend that mom is stressed out, mom is having a headache, and she cannot bear my singing in this moment, not because my singing is not good, not because she doesn't like my singing. It's just because there's something going on with her that is not enabling her to enjoy the singing. But the child will take this as, wait a moment, when I want to do what I feel like doing, my gut feeling is saying, hey, let's just sing, let's just have fun. In that moment that I follow the gut feeling that's coming, I'm punished for it, or I get yelled at, or it's not taken in a positive way. And over time, if that child continuously experiences moments like this with the caregiver, with the parent, for example, she will learn to disconnect from that part of herself that loves to sing, that comes up in any moment where she feels like she wants to be happy and she wants to express herself and she wants to follow what her gut is telling her. She will disconnect from her because it's too painful to experience from the caregiver, from the source of where her love comes from, the pain of that person not wanting to hear the singing, not feeling good about the singing, and the child will make it that it's not safe to follow that instinct within her. And so hopefully that's clear to you about when the disconnect happens. So most of the time, the disconnect from our gut feelings and intuition happens in childhood. And it's many situations that arise that will show this child that it is not perhaps safe to follow her gut feelings and her intuition, or that it creates pain for her. It creates a disconnect with the parent, with the caregiver, and eventually this is a no-no to have that disconnect with our source of love for the child, because the child's most important needs is attention, it's love from the parent. So she will always sacrifice her gut feeling in order to get that love and attention from the parent. And when there is that disconnect that happens, for a lot of us, later on in our adult life, we either feel our gut feelings, but we choose to ignore it. And many of us, if I ask you how many times did you not follow your gut feelings and regretted it, I would say most of us have experienced that at least once or many times in our lives. And that's because we've disconnected with the gut feeling and we've learned as growing up that we should not listen to it. And in a more deeper disconnect, some people don't even feel their gut feeling. They don't even feel intuition coming in. So they don't feel that at all. And when you ask them, do you ever feel your gut feelings? And they'll say, no, I don't know what that is about. Right? So this is how it will manifest in later on in our lives as adults. So it's important, if you are experiencing that you're not following your gut feeling, there is a way to reconnect with your gut feeling and to show you how to listen to that gut feeling, because it is your sixth sense. It is giving you important information, your gut feelings and your intuition. And your gut feelings are always right. Instead of asking 10 different people about what you should do next in your life, your gut feelings are already telling you what to do. So following that is very important for your own happiness and for what you want to create in your life. And if you do not feel your gut feelings at all, there's also ways of reconnecting with your gut feelings and your intuitions. There are tools that you can apply. So if you want more information on how to follow your gut feelings or reconnect with it, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, watch out for my next video. So thanks for tuning in and have a great day, afternoon, morning, wherever you are.